Ethereum soaring this week as the SEC deadline for spot ETF approval quickly approaches. Investors suddenly turning optimistic this week, sending the crypto soaring. Ether pulling back a bit today, but still up over 60% year to date on pace for its best week in over a year. For more on what the SEC's decision will mean for the crypto space, let's turn to our own Bitcoin baller, or in this case, Ether expert. And of course, that would be BK Brian Kelly. What do you think? Is this a sell the news event?
No, I don't think it's a sell the news event, although we probably got a lot of the initial kind of excitement out of the way. Ethereum's really been underperforming everybody else. It's just, and everybody's kind of left it for dead. So I think you had a big short covering rally. But in general, what this has done is change the landscape for crypto, particularly politically in this country. So in beginning of May, Trump was asked a question about crypto. And he said, if you want crypto, vote for Trump. That clip went viral and actually changed things in Washington. We saw multiple votes over the last several days that were pro-crypto. The president said he was going to veto those and then kind of backed off. So I think there's been a sea change here in the regulatory environment, and it's a welcome one from the industry.
So this is just in the past few weeks, you think, you got more optimistic?
Since May 6th, much more optimistic. And then what we're seeing is the SEC is starting to amend these S1s. So I don't know if the Ethereum ETF gets approved today, next week or the week after. It will get approved at some point in time. But also the trade now is who's next, right?
Exactly. Who is next? Because and I was talking about yesterday. Now it's almost time for truly my ETF, my blended ETF of which which crypto asset it is. And so who is next, though?
I mean, I think you've got to think about Solana as probably the next one, right? I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are probably the big three for this cycle. But I'll give you even a stranger, or maybe not stranger, but maybe an unintuitive way to think about it, Robinhood and Coinbase. Because now we have some clarity about what a security is and what isn't. And they'll be able to list a lot more crypto, which means a lot more trading for them. So I think they're the biggest beneficiaries from the change that's gone on.
So, BK, really glad to have you here. Big fan of your work. I have a question about all of the FTX money, then, a lot of talk about how much they're actually getting.
Yeah.
Do you think, I don't know if it's $11 billion now or what, will that go back into crypto? Will it go into Bitcoin? Where's it going to go?
Yeah, I do think most of that money is crypto native, right? So it's crypto funds, people that are investing in this. So I do think most of that money will come back in. What we've seen so far is a lot of private deals. There were a lot of private deals in Solana that's happened over the last month where investors in the receiver in FTX was selling Solana to investors. So I think that what's going to happen is it'll just be recycled in. There may be some of it that kind of leaks out to the side, but I would think most of that money stays in the crypto ecosystem.
So you've liked Solana for a long time now, even before this sort of the sniff of an ETF. Aside from Solana, what are some of what is your number one sort of moonshot coin trade?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think you can look at a couple different ones. You can look at some of the AI coins, so something like a Fetch AI, that's been really well. And then what's been hot recently is what we call the professor coins, so ones that have kind of been developed by professors at universities. So Avalanche is one of those, AVAX. I would look at some of those. They tend to trade with everybody else, and once they get going, they tend to trade at a multiple of everything else.